camera has captured gigantic creatures so massive that a single comparison shot is enough to shock people. Nearly 20 feet long, a body as big as a car, weighing over 2,000 pounds, and appearing right in front of humans. Not legends, not movies. From the deep ocean, swamps, and dense forests to familiar roads, these giants were recorded at the exact moment we were standing far too close. This is Mystery Files, and right now, we are about to face real-life giant creatures, images that make you wonder just how much bigger the world is than human imagination. When a fishing boat docked in Arica, Chile on July 11th, people quickly realized this catch was anything but normal. Lying on the deck was a massive oarfish, nearly 20 feet long, thin, flat, and shimmering like a strip of metal. It was so large that a crane was needed to lift it onto shore. Oarfish are deep-sea fish, usually living at extreme depths and rarely appearing near the surface, especially in crowded areas like fishing ports. That is why the sight immediately drew a crowd. Some people quietly filmed. Others whispered about how rare this creature was. If the ocean can push creatures like that to shore, then even familiar land ecosystems hide giants that have lived quietly for generations. In the Everglades swamp, a large mass slowly rose from the murky water. It was a giant alligator snapping turtle with a rough, algae-covered shell and a heavy head that looked like a living rock. When safely weighed, the turtle came in at around 100 pounds. Alligator snapping turtles are among the largest freshwater turtles in North America and have barely changed since the age of dinosaurs. They can live over 100 years and are famous for ambush hunting, lying motionless on the bottom and using a worm-like lure on their tongue to attract prey. In the footage, the turtle barely moves, but that stillness shows complete control of its surroundings.
I think if people did not know beforehand, many could walk right past without realizing they were standing near an ancient predator.
And giant creatures do not always stay hidden in natural environments. Sometimes they appear right in the middle of human life. In a rural village in India, daily routines were interrupted when residents spotted a long object blocking a narrow road. From a distance, it looked like a fallen tree. Up close, people realized it was a massive Indian rock python. The snake was over 20 feet long, thick and heavy, lying still across the entire road. What stood out was how calm it was, showing no agitation even as people watched from a distance. Indian rock pythons are non-venomous, but incredibly powerful, capable of constricting large prey. Experts estimated this individual was over 30 years old and weighed hundreds of pounds. After lying there for hours, the python slowly moved into nearby vegetation.
I noticed no one tried to chase it away, because in that moment, everyone understood who truly controlled the road.
In 2012, the coastline of Karachi suddenly fell into chaos when a massive object drifted close to shore, nearly paralyzing the area. From far away, many thought it was a grounded ship. Only when they got closer did they realize it was a giant female whale shark. The animal was about 40 feet long and weighed over 15 tons, placing it among the largest ever recorded. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the world, yet they are gentle giants that feed on plankton and pose no danger to humans. That contrast between enormous size and peaceful nature made the scene even more unreal. After washing ashore, the shark showed no signs of life and quickly drew international media attention. The carcass was taken to a local fish market, while researchers collected samples for analysis. The exact cause of death was never confirmed, with theories ranging from pollution and oceanic environmental changes to natural disorientation.
I noticed what disturbed people most was not just its size, but the fact that a creature meant to roam the open ocean ended its journey right next to a densely populated area.
You may need to pay close attention to this moment. A video filmed in Yellowstone National Park captures a large animal stepping into the middle of a two-lane road, forcing traffic to stop completely. At first, many thought it was a grizzly bear. As the image became clearer, it was identified as a massive timber wolf. Normally, timber wolves are about 6.5 feet long and weigh around 175 pounds. But this individual was far larger, with a thick body, tall frame, and slow, confident stride. What stood out was that the wolf showed no fear or aggression. It crossed the road, looked around, and continued moving as if cars and people were not a threat. Timber wolves are apex predators in Yellowstone, playing a key role in controlling herbivore populations. Wolves of this size are often pack leaders, with age and extensive hunting experience. The image reminded many of giant wolves from legend, even though this was a completely real animal.
I bet that without this video and photo, many people would not believe a freshwater fish could get this big.
After more than an hour of constant struggle against powerful pulls from below, an angler finally brought the mysterious creature to shore for the required photos. When the fish fully emerged, it turned out to be a giant catfish measuring about 8.9 feet long and weighing up to 280 pounds. Its size was so extreme that next to people and nearby objects, it looked longer than a Mini Cooper. Giant catfish live in freshwater rivers and lakes, move silently, and are rarely seen, especially individuals of this size. They can live for decades, grow slowly, and sit at the top of the freshwater food chain. Catching a fish like this requires not only endurance, but rare luck. These catches often become lifetime memories and prove that beneath familiar rivers, enormous creatures still exist beyond everyday awareness. Brody is recorded as the largest Kodiak bear ever to live in captivity. As an adult, he weighed around 2,130 pounds and stood about 9 feet tall when upright, taller than an average ceiling. Kodiak bears are already the largest subspecies of brown bear in the world, and Brody surpassed even them. In a comparison video, another adult Kodiak bear named Jimbo appears in the same frame. Jimbo alone looks massive next to humans, but standing beside Brody, the size difference becomes undeniable. This visual comparison helps viewers grasp Brody's scale without needing complex numbers. Bears that reach such sizes usually have extremely rich diets and ideal living conditions.
I think that single comparison moment explains why Brody is considered one of the largest land animals ever recorded.
During a net fishing operation on the Mississippi River, fishermen quickly realized something was very wrong. The net was unusually heavy and barely moved for several minutes. As the creature beneath the water was slowly pulled up, they saw a long, narrow snout and rows of sharp teeth like a crocodile. It was a giant alligator gar, nearly 8 feet long and weighing over 300 pounds, a rare size even for this already massive species. Alligator gar are ancient freshwater fish that have existed for over 100 million years and have barely changed since the dinosaur era. They can live over 90 years, grow slowly, and only reach such size with enough space, food, and time. Individuals like this often dominate a river for decades. This gar was so large that after being brought ashore, authorities decided to transfer it to the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science for study and preservation instead of releasing it.
I remember an expert once said that if an alligator gar reaches this size, it may have been swimming in that river since before many of us were born. Thinking about that is both awe-inspiring and unsettling.
People often say that catching a great white shark while fishing is like earning a medal. According to official IGFA records, the largest great white shark ever caught on rod and reel weighed 2,664 pounds, over 5,800 pounds in total weight. This record has stood for decades and remains unbeaten. Adult great whites are typically about 13 to 16 feet long, but individuals exceeding 2 tons are extremely rare. The battle with the shark lasted for hours. Each surge tightened the line to the point it could snap at any moment. Great white sharks are apex predators with dense muscle, powerful tails, and explosive short burst speed. To keep the shark hooked, the fishing team had to coordinate constantly, taking turns on the rod and adjusting tension and boat direction. Once landed and weighed, the record was quickly written into sport fishing history. However, cases like this also led to stricter great white conservation regulations.
I always find these scenes both impressive and tense, because they show humans coming face to face with one of the most formidable predators ever to exist on Earth.
During an offshore fishing tournament near Ocean City, Maryland, one boat radioed in that they had hooked something very big. After more than an hour of struggle, the creature surfaced beside the boat. It was a massive tiger shark. Adult tiger sharks are usually 10 to 13 feet long, but this individual far exceeded average size, weighing hundreds of pounds and requiring a mechanical pulley system to be hoisted for weighing. Tiger sharks are known for their extremely diverse diet, ranging from fish and sea turtles to birds and even non-food objects. Individuals that reach such size have typically lived many years and sit at the top of the food chain. In the footage, the shark continues thrashing violently, showing incredible strength even after being pulled near the deck.
The weighing moment was marked more by silence than celebration. I noticed people stepping back, not out of fear, but because the shark's size made them feel uncomfortably close to a very real piece of the ocean. Something usually seen only in documentaries or films.
Aerial footage from the Amazon region of Brazil shows a massive anaconda moving through flooded forest. Based on comparisons with surrounding trees and terrain, experts estimate the snake could be between 23 and over 26 feet long, far exceeding the average green anaconda length of about 16 to 20 feet. Anacondas are the heaviest snakes in the world, semi-aquatic, and capable of constricting large prey such as deer, wild pigs, or small caimans. They grow slowly and only reach enormous size in extremely favorable environments with abundant food and minimal human disturbance. Brazilian biologists believe that deep, unexplored areas of the Amazon could still harbor individuals well beyond known averages.
What stands out in the footage is that there is no hunting or confrontation. The snake moves calmly. I think that calm movement is what truly unsettles viewers, because it shows humans are only seeing a tiny moment of these creatures' world.
And now, here's a fascinating fact. The leatherback sea turtle is the largest sea turtle ever known to exist. Fully grown individuals can exceed 6.5 feet in length and weigh close to 2,000 pounds. In rare cases documented by National Geographic and conservation groups, massive leatherbacks have been caught in nets or temporarily secured for measurement before being released back into the ocean. Unlike other turtles, leatherbacks do not have a hard shell. Instead, they have a flexible, leathery carapace that allows them to dive deeper than 3,200 feet and withstand extreme pressure. They can migrate across entire oceans and live for several decades, sometimes more than 50 years. When an individual this large appears near shore, handling it requires dozens of people and specialized equipment to avoid injuring the animal. In the footage, the turtle shows almost no violent resistance, moving only slowly. Striped bass are common along the U.S. East Coast, but an individual exceeding 100 pounds is considered extremely rare. In one highly publicized catch, an angler pulled up a striped bass so heavy it damaged the standard scale, forcing officials to use different equipment to confirm its weight. The struggle lasted as the fish repeatedly charged with the current, using the river's flow to fight the line. Striped bass can live more than 30 years and grow slowly, so individuals of this size have often existed through multiple generations of anglers. After being measured, photographed, and verified, the fish became a major topic of discussion in the American fishing community.
I think what makes this case memorable is that it happened in waters people consider completely familiar. It is a reminder that even places we think we understand can still hide creatures far larger than we imagine.
Moving on to the next case, this footage does not show violent struggle or frantic movement. Instead, the camera opens on the deck of an offshore fishing boat in late 2024. A massive sea turtle lies across a blue tarp, so large that several grown men standing around it still look small. What stopped everyone cold was its color. The entire body was almost pale white, from shell to flippers, unlike any sea turtle most people have ever seen. According to the description posted with the video, the turtle was caught in a net during a haul. Once on deck, the fishermen quickly realized it was a very rare individual. Based on shell shape and size, it was likely a leatherback or green sea turtle affected by reduced pigmentation, causing its unusually light coloration. On deck, they continuously poured seawater over its body to keep the skin from drying out. After a while, the turtle moved slightly, enough for everyone to know it was still alive.
I noticed no one looked excited. No posing for photos, no laughter. After a brief discussion, they decided not to bring the turtle ashore. According to the account, the boat released it back into the sea shortly afterward.
This incident was not filmed from shore or a small fishing boat, but from the deck of a cargo ship moving through open ocean in late August 2025, according to the clip's timestamp. The sea was calm, deep blue, with nothing unusual at first. Then, right beside the ship, a massive reddish-orange shape suddenly surfaced, just a few yards from the railing. At first glance, many people froze at its form. Thick, long arms spread beneath the water, lined with clearly visible suction cups. This was not a legendary kraken, but most likely a giant ocean octopus, a species capable of reaching several yards in length and weighing hundreds of pounds. The head surfaced like a smooth mass of muscle, while the tentacles moved slowly, creating swirling water alongside the ship.
According to the crew, the animal was not tangled in nets and was not being pulled up. It surfaced on its own and drifted along the ship for several minutes. I noticed this detail because giant octopuses usually live in deep water and rarely appear so clearly beside a moving cargo vessel. Some theories suggest they surface due to disorientation, pressure changes, or attraction to the ship's shadow and movement.
Have you ever seen a crab so strong it takes 3 grown adults pulling on ropes just to control it? That is exactly what happens in this video. It begins with a crew inspecting a drainage tunnel near a coastal area, likely in Southeast Asia based on the environment and safety gear. Water pooled underfoot, mud covered the ground, and nothing seemed unusual until someone noticed the water ahead moving differently. When they moved forward and shined a light, a massive mangrove crab, Scylla serrata, also known as a mud crab, was revealed in the narrow passage. Its body was nearly the size of a metal drum lid, with a thick, dark green-brown shell and enormous orange-red claws, a clear sign of a fully mature individual. This species lives in mangroves and estuaries, It digs deep burrows and is rarely pulled out into open spaces like this. The situation turned tense when the crab began resisting. It thrashed, twisted, and swung its claws to escape. The workers had to use ropes to restrain it from a distance, avoiding direct contact.
In documented cases, mangrove crabs this large can exert enough crushing force to break human bones. The video ends with the crab still restrained inside the tunnel, with no clear outcome. And it leaves an unsettling thought. The underground systems near the coast that humans consider lifeless are still territory for large and dangerous creatures we rarely see.
Next, the main character is not a veteran fisherman or deep-sea hunter, but a 13-year-old boy from New Hampshire. It all began during an offshore fishing trip in New England in early September 2025. An overnight trip with more than 30 people on board, targeting pollock and bottom fish. Nothing unusual, until the boy's rod bent in a way no one expected. Jackson Denio was fishing near Cash's Ledge, about 100 miles offshore, a rocky area in the Gulf of Maine. At first, he thought he had hooked a big fish. Seconds later, everyone realized the thing below had no intention of coming up. The fish dragged. The line dove deep, then surged upward again, forcing Jackson into a fight that lasted nearly 30 minutes. At one point, the fish surfaced near the rail, then suddenly dove again, leaving the entire deck holding its breath.
When it finally came up, people were stunned. It was a massive Atlantic halibut weighing 177 pounds, nearly 60 pounds heavier than Jackson himself. I think anyone watching this moment understands why the captain said the whole boat lost their minds. The fish was officially weighed, photographed, filmed, and is now being submitted for IGFA World Record Review.
This case begins not with excitement, but with a heavy feeling. Early in the morning on August 4th, 2025, at the Vranov Reservoir south of Prague, angler Jakub Wagner was drifting his boat slowly along a rocky wall when he saw an unusually long, dark shape moving below. In that moment, he knew it was a Wels catfish, the largest freshwater fish in Europe, but the size was far beyond anything he had encountered. Once the fish took the bait, the fight lasted nearly 50 minutes, not because it thrashed violently, but because the sheer length and mass of its body kept forcing the rod downward. Adult Wels catfish have flat bodies, wide heads, huge mouths, and long barbels used for sensing. This individual measured 8.8 feet long, longer than a fully grown adult lying flat. Descriptions say its body was extremely thick and wide, making control nearly impossible.
In the footage, when the fish surfaced beside the boat, part of its back rose above the waterline, showing this was no ordinary catfish. Wels catfish of this size can weigh hundreds of pounds and are usually very old, having lived for decades in large lakes or rivers.
After measuring and photographing it, the fish was released. Beneath Europe's calm-looking waters, there are still creatures large enough to dominate entire ecosystems, rarely seen by humans.
This is the most controversial clip in the entire list. Not because it is long or clear, but because what it shows falls far outside normal expectations.
The video opens on dense jungle, with a large, winding river below, strongly resembling the Amazon. No people, no boats, just wilderness stretching to the horizon. In the sky, a disc-shaped object appears, hovering unnaturally still. Directly beneath it is a massive white snake, its long body curved and restrained in a system of nets and cables. The creature is being lifted out of the water, meter by meter. It thrashes inside the net. What makes it disturbing is that the tail of the animal appears mutated, forming what looks like a second head. Most people believe this video was created using AI or CGI. In reality, the Amazon does contain anacondas that can reach 23 to 26 feet in length and weigh hundreds of pounds, living in areas humans rarely enter. But if there truly were an advanced civilization observing Earth, would enormous, ancient creatures hidden deep in flooded forests be of interest? And after seeing all of these images, what lingers most may not be the size of the creatures, but how small humans feel beside them. This is not a warning and not a claim of hidden mysteries. It is a reminder that we have never truly controlled this world.
What do you think about the giant creatures you just saw? Are these simply rare individuals, or signs that nature still holds far more than we understand? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring more mystery files, do not forget to subscribe.